Hello, World Wide Web. Radrick here. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the Bridging the Gap podcast. Today I've got another special guest on. We connected via the Founder Institute community over the past year through one of the virtual workshops. He's formerly an events promoter turned venture comedian who likes to rant about shitty pitch decks and what not to do when chasing investors for your meatball AI product idea. Really happy to have him here on as a guest on the podcast. I'm looking forward to having many more. This podcast is about digital nomadism, finding your ikigai, developing process through Kaizen, learning how to chase your dreams, and become the best version of yourself that you can. Without further ado, let's get into it.
I don't know. I've been on so many of these things, I can't keep track. As long as the video and the audio works, I'm happy.
Yeah.
So if it looks good on your end, I'm good. You're the boss, boss.
Yeah. So thanks so much for joining me today. As we've been kind of mixing feeds for a little while, and I love your take on VC venture comedy.
Thank you.
That's fun. I think a lot of venture capitalists are comedians without necessarily knowing it. So
that's because the industry is a joke.
It is. So. It is. It's slowly become. Well, I don't know how slow. It's exponential. It's becoming more and more jokey as we go forward. So.
Well, that's what happens when all the funds and all the startups are made up predominantly of clowns.
Yeah.
So. It comes with the territory.
Right. I remember going into. I went to Collision Conf this year, and I should have taken a tally. It would have been really interesting to see how many of the booths were taken up by companies that were claiming to be AI companies. You know, companies that do this, companies that do that. And actually, you've made a few jokes that really stuck. The meatball. What was it? The meatball.
AI meatballs for AI. Yeah, of course.
It's like
it's the intersection of fine Italian cooking and artificial intelligence.
Oh man,
it's worth hundreds of billions of dollars. This is the ground floor, and we're not just doing meatballs. We're going to expand into focaccias. We're going to expand into salads.
What's that? What's that dish with the deep fried rice?
Risotto, I think.
No,
AI for risotto.
Not risotto. It's like a little deep fried ball. It starts with an A. Arancini or something?
I don't know. So AI for whatever dish we're talking about. Think about it in the comments below. Yeah, help us out.
It is.
It is an untapped market.
It's called an arancini. You know, if you've ever had one, you'd remember the name.
No, never have. But we are looking up Olive Garden to be a strategic partner. It's going to be great.
We need a new thing to dive into a market of. The arancini is next.
I'm going to look it up. We might have to put that. We might have to educate our populace on what it is.
I could see your post for today already.
Yeah, the wheels are turning. I might have to save it for next week, but the wheels are turning.
Awesome, bro. It's great talking to you and getting a live version of the comedy. I appreciate it. I take it you're Italian.
No, I'm not.
No, you just love the meatballs. Hey.
That was just one topic, and we got AI for everything from what I see. AI for goldfish, AI for solitaire, AI for carjackers, whatever you want. You just put in AI for everything.
AI for carjackers. That's I don't know. I think giving Microsoft the back end to that might actually keep the carjackers from happening. But you never know. As long as Microsoft's making money, they got a big hole in their AI machine, so maybe they would let it slide for a while.
It could work. I mean, like I said, every day's a new adventure. I see stuff every day that is laughable, so it's my duty to share what not to do.
Yeah. What's your favorite one? Which one really jumps out at you as somebody's like real shot at building an AI product?
Do you mean like an actual like actual investable?
Like, not investable, like the one that you've seen somebody like being serious at.
They're all serious. they're serious. It just the market's not, and investors are. It's oh man, There's so many, but they all suffer from the same problem that
Yeah.
their strategic advantage is typing in import chat GPT. I
Yeah.
mean, I've seen Chat GPT for creatives, because if you can't use free Chat GPT, which has a billion users. No, we're
Yeah.
going to be a focused Chat GPT that
Yeah.
you've never heard of. It's going to be better, but it's only for a little vertical. So yeah,
Yeah.
you can easily use Chat GPT for any of this stuff. But there's the Chat
That's
GPT for creators, Chat
mhm.
GPT for mental health, Chat GPT for therapy, Chat GPT for friends. Like it's
Yeah.
always like the same like personalized stuff that you can just use Chat GPT for.
That's exactly what I've been my experience. I'm in a few groups and they're always like these companies are buying spots basically to get attention. And then you go into the demo of their product and it's literally you just have an assistant that they've loaded with their templates and stuff. And I don't see the output being any different than what I would get if I just went to ChatGPT and said, "Hey, I'm doing this XYZ, give me a template for doing that." And it's literally the same value that you're getting from a user, without
That's
having
because
to
you
invest
don't
in.
believe in the big picture. You're just not right for us. You don't see the opportunity.
Well, it's just a layer on top, right? The assistant. The assistant can be of value, but I don't think it's at the company level, it's at the user level. And you can walk away with that value from just going to the source, right? Why would I go to, some specific product to get that when I can get it all from ChatGPT?
Pretty much, but don't tell any of the countless founders working on AI startups right now,
Yeah.
because they won't listen. And listen, some people might have months, if not years, of their life to waste on something that's not going to work, but I don't got time for that. I
Yeah.
got stuff to do.
Yeah,
Okay, if I'm
right.
going to take a chance on something, it's going to be something I personally want to take a chance on. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
convert people and beg for money, but
Yeah.
I'm not sinking years of my
Mhm.
life into something that is
Totally.
statistically against me, because it's nothing. There's nothing
There's no magic in it.
unique about it.
There's no magic.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you really want to, if you really want to waste your time, there are better ways to do it.
Yeah.
That are more rewarding.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a hard time seeing how, like you really need to have some kind of like boring product that can be supplemented with ChatGPT for it to be even valuable. If your first step into the problem is, oh, we're AI, I can tell it's just a layer on top of ChatGPT or worse.
It's we are AI for insert X. That's it. That's what it is. Insert,
Yeah.
type in what it is, or you can go to
Uh,
ChatGPT and have it type it for you, and it'll say insert company name. We are
mhm.
AI for insert company name, like most people do, and they never fix
Yeah,
it,
they
and
get
they
the
send me
square
DMs.
brackets.
Yes, they get the square brackets. This is such an exciting opportunity for you to be a part of. Insert
Uh,
company name and the square brackets, and please reach out.
it's
Insert
like a
contact
it's
information.
like a Mad Lib. Have you ever done Mad Libs?
I haven't, but I know it. Yes.
Yeah, like you put noun here, verb, adjective.
Yeah,
So where
pretty
you
much.
uh
So that
where are you from? Where are you calling from?
Miami, or as I
You
call it, Silicon
oh
Swamp.
Silicon Swamp. Nice.
Yep.
How long have you been there for?
Oh, a
Your
long time. I feel like I need to
hometown?
get paroled.
Yeah,
I uh, I've been here over 20 years now.
yeah. What prompted you to go to Florida? The tax
No,
reasons?
I was no. That's like a 2 years. Let's all go to Florida because of tax reasons. No, I came here. First off, I was a kid when I moved here. Second, I
Oh,
came to
okay.
Miami to go to University of Miami and throw parties and start my business.
Okay.
And that's what I did for nearly 2 decades.
Cool.
Being
All
a
right,
pivotal figure.
you were in the events industry.
Yep.
Nice,
So
man. Some good parties
did
there
that.
in Miami.
Yeah, you're welcome. I did them all.
Which
pretty
ones are
pretty
you a
much.
part of?
I'll put it
Any,
to you
any
this way: if you came to Miami between 2003, and then well, I didn't do stuff during the pandemic, but I did stuff after the pandemic. So there
yeah,
was literally a 2 decade like kind of time frame that I did all the best clubs, all the big
yeah,
celebrity driven events, all the big brand launches.
sweet.
I did private mansion parties, yacht parties, all that kind of stuff. So
Awesome.
that was my gig, man. That was my grind. I mean, it was just hanging out with celebrities, bringing out beautiful people, packing places with thousands of
How did you
people.
survive? How are you still alive?
Well,
I guess
one,
that's what
a
got you through
competitive.
That's what got you through
Well,
COVID. You were immune to everything after that.
well, I was already not doing it in COVID, so I didn't really
Yeah,
care about going out.
yeah,
As far as I was concerned, the scene was already diseased. COVID was
yeah,
an improvement on the people,
yeah,
it's a competitive advantage. Not drinking, not smoking, not doing drugs, having an
yeah.
education, getting enough sleep.
Hmm.
Like, a lot of people just burned out or died because if you
Yeah,
do that every night or five
yeah,
nights a week or 4 nights a week and you actually
yeah,
drink and you stay out and you
yeah.
smoke, your body's gonna
Hate
it's
you.
gonna take a hit.
Yeah,
So I was always along the lines of being extremely business focused. I mean, it was fun, don't get me wrong, but
totally.
extremely money focused, extremely business focused, extremely networking focused, and extremely leaving as early as I could focus.
You just show up at the door to a meet and greet and then peace them out.
Yeah, I mean, listen, no, I'm not going back in that industry unless I actually am a partner or owner in a venue. So yeah, I mean, I used to leave early all the time, and people always
Yeah,
hated it. But
yeah,
as much as I want to stand around after getting everyone in and selling all my
yeah,
tables and I don't know act security, I think I'm gonna
yeah,
go home and go to sleep, which I
yeah,
did.
yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah,
tried not to, unless it was a really crazy, super nuts night. I really tried to get in and get out,
yeah.
which I did. And sometimes I'd go to two or three places in a night and have two or three different events. So those are always a little hectic.
A grind,
And
yeah.
well, it's not so much a grind. It's just that you have to be at three different places within like 15 minutes of one another, or people come from one to the next. So it's kind of like it's not something you do all the time. It's something you
For
can
sure.
do. It's why I try not to do two shows in one night. Won't do it.
Yeah.
It's only if I couldn't get out of it, where I had
You're
like
not in your
other
20s
events.
anymore.
Well, it's not even that. It's not a matter of like age. It's a matter of like, okay, I have to drive from one place to the next. I have to get there in time. I have to coordinate the groups of people going to each place and the tables
Yeah.
and keep on track and be there to like shake hands and do it and then go to the next place. So it's not too easy. So but
Yeah.
age has nothing to do with it. I mean, it's just the
Well, it's got to be
coordination of
easier when you're younger. You can run around without feeling so burnt out by it.
No, not really. I mean, because even when I was 18, I feel pretty burnt out.
Yeah.
If you're gonna stay up all night, or you're gonna be out, or you're gonna go out
Yeah.
5 nights in a
Oh
week.
wow.
I mean, I remember I did again. I was like, I must have been 20, yeah, 22, where we did like spring break parties like 3 weeks in a row. And I remember
Yeah.
the first night I had off. I mean, I was out every night. First night I had off, I just like turned the
Hmm.
lights off in my house and hid. I turned
Yeah.
my phone off, which I never did. I
Yeah.
lied on the couch and ate popsicles, and that was it.
Yeah.
Because being out all the time, like, and coordinating everything, it's just tiring. But I
Yeah.
hear a real job's tiring, so who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's the real
Well,
burnout.
when I was in my 20s, I was one of the party goers. From like Thursday to Monday could be any given weekend could be a one of those kinds of grinds. And I don't regret it for a second. Lots of really
Yeah.
great people in my life still from those times. We're all older now, and so we don't get to have that fun anymore. We had a place in Toronto called the Government. If
I know government.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Government was it
Let's hear it for all my Toronto people. Let's hear
what
it for the Atomic
what
Thursdays. Let's hear it. Let's
well
hear it for what's his name? Who am I looking for?
who's your Toronto
Tony, is it
person?
Monaco? Was that one talking to DJ?
uh,
Z103. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember.
there were so
Um,
many. What was the guy from? Yeah, I don't remember anymore either.
I don't know. Listen,
If you
one of
were there,
my
you don't remember.
yeah, well, one of my friends right now owns a bunch of spots in Niagara.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
if you're in the Niagara region, Saturdays belong
shut
to
up.
Seven, and yeah, and if you go to
Yeah.
St. Catharines, oh yeah, forget about it. You have Level, which is doing their freshman disorientation party next week. He texted me to go. I said
Disorientation.
no, good.
Yeah, it's been a
Yeah,
lot of
he owns
years
a bunch
since
of
I
bars.
lived there. Um, yeah, I can hear like their voices in my head, but
Yeah,
God, their names are eluding me.
I have a lot of party people from Toronto. I had a big
Who
clientele in Toronto. I mean, I've been
Yeah,
toe to toe
no,
globally. Everybody can
yeah,
understand me.
yeah, exactly. There was a group that always went, for Ultra Music Festival for a week
Yeah.
every year. So there's like an entourage that you could show up with. And what's big now? BPM. I don't know if there's BPM events down there. There's a
I'm out of the
BPM
game. There
Costa
probably
Rica.
is.
Yeah,
There's probably stuff. I mean, I did like I said, all like March was always like the biggest month of the year.
yeah.
That was especially
You
back
get
when
spring break
EDM
in.
was like there was that EDM
New.
period was the
Yeah.
hottest thing in the world. So
Hmm.
Ultra was 2 weeks in a row. So it
Yeah.
was like a nonstop.
But yeah,
Like again, we were out.
in 2010 we started calling it EDM because the brands were
Yeah,
like, "Oh, we can't call it electronica anymore
or
because
trance, or we can't.
that's associated with drugs.
Yeah,
We can't sponsor that. Let's call it
so
EDM."
we have to rebrand it. I mean, yeah, but we always did all that stuff. I mean, I had all the DJs, like you name it. Again, that we were like the height. I saw the rise of it, which I was a part of. I was at the peak
Yeah,
of it, and then I saw the fall of it. And the
yeah.
fall of it wasn't so fun. The fall of it
No.
is when you
Well, as soon as we
is when
started putting the DJ on stage and the spotlight on him, then we started losing our way. It was like they became rock stars instead of it being about music. It was about the person behind the booth, and half the time they're playing pre-recorded sets, and like all the magic of
yeah,
that
you're just standing there.
event is like
I mean,
gone. You know,
it's
part.
just yeah, I think that again, them bouncing around on the laptop gets old. And I was doing like, how many times can I do a Steve Aoki party? How many times can I
Yeah,
do Tiesto? How many times can I do Swedish House Mafia?
uh,
Like people
they're
get
running out of
tired of it. Like
cake.
that's yeah. Again, he's gonna keep the cakes coming. And again, it was just
Yeah,
we I did all those guys. We did like
yeah.
for years. I did all that stuff.
Who was your favorite? Not those guys. Of like all of the events. Who did you keep coming back to?
It's not so much a favorite of my personal, oh, I want to see this person. It's a favorite of
The
who
events.
people were going to pay the most to see, right?
Okay.
What clients wanted to see.
Yeah.
So Calvin Harris,
Yeah.
probably that was like high ticket. Avicii when he came out was a high ticket.
I gotta
Um,
throw in Carl Cox. He's a crowd pleaser.
that was old school. That was yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Oh, it was
that was
before
more
your
like
time? Oh, I still
yeah.
love him.
They were. I mean, he was still doing stuff, but that's like BT and Carl Cox and Sander Van Dorn and Deep Dish, like all these
Those
people.
those
But like
guys are amazing.
that's
Those are my
yeah,
my
that's
favorites.
like really like old school when people just like
Yeah.
bought the tickets and didn't really like ball out as
Understand.
opposed to that
Yeah.
period.
Well, Carl
Where
Cox
people were
recently
going.
did an event at the pyramids, which was pretty rad.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the dude's old school. He's been around forever. I mean, like, I don't think I've ever done a party with him, to be honest.
No.
Um, no, but
I think
yeah, I
he
mean,
owns
that's kind
Space
of like,
now. He's like
yeah,
one of the co-owners of Space, Ibiza.
probably. I mean, space closing is remodeling, so all the crackheads have to go somewhere else now. I don't know where. Maybe there's a crackhead shelter until it reopens. But
Oh,
yeah,
is
I
in
mean, it's
Florida crackhead shelter?
yeah, I mean, the whole state is. We're the insane asylum for the universe. But
Florida
yeah,
man.
it's yeah. So it's
Florida man,
essentially
August
yeah.
23. It's one of my favorite exercises. We should check. What's Florida man August 23?
It's probably doing something insane, which is considered normal here. I mean, it's every day there's something here that is always kind of stupid. So I tend to avoid it, and I tend to, because I feel like I've seen the Florida man and Florida woman, just being out enough, and
Yeah,
it's enough. It's
yeah.
enough.
That's why you stay in your house, or
Yeah, I mean, listen, I get out, but I don't go out anymore. I've
yeah,
unless the events are like VC driven events or something that I'm a part of, or like
yeah.
investment events, not pitch
What?
events, like just
Yeah. You're
VC
not a
networking
fan?
events that I know. I'll go. Sorry.
You're not a fan of PC or of pitch events?
I mean, I do enough where I'm like a judge, right?
Yeah,
So like I'll do it as like a judge if it's for something like a reputable. So like for
yeah.
Founders Institute, for
Where
instance, I do their
there's like
but for
a
the like
barrier to entry, or there's like a contest before the people that are showing up
no, it's just like
to
a lot of them are
qualify
a waste
them.
of time. They're
Yeah.
just a lot. They're a waste of time, and like I'm not gonna do it for like I don't know the Frog Butt Arkansas Accelerator, right? Like I'm just not gonna do it.
Rib
I'll do
AI.
it like Yeah. Well, I'll do it. There's like groups I'll do it with, right? That are
Yeah.
reputable groups,
Yeah.
right? But a lot of them I just don't do. I mean, they're a waste of time because I know the startups, like some of them are shaped. Some of them are just like, they don't give any guidance. So the next thing you know, it's like you have 2 minutes to pitch. Nobody practices and they have a
They
50
have no
slide deck. There's no way
structure.
it's
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
No, so like then I have to go in and like tell them how it is, and like
Yeah.
they could have
You
just
won't like
prepared
that.
them. They could have just said, "Sean's coming in to judge. You should really practice and try and not have like a
Watch
50-page
these
slide
videos
deck."
of Sean judging people for an hour before you.
Yeah, exactly.
Product.
Here, our
You,
greatest hits, but I mean, some of them are good, but I don't do them. Like I don't do
yeah.
them. I don't want to go to events with founders. They all, as soon as they find out how connected I am and what I do, they all crowd around
Yeah.
me to try and slide into the DMs, but in
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
It's Miami, so my favorite is, I'm a founder. Or what do you do? I have a tech company. What does it do? It's not out yet. Okay, so it's like there's a lot of
Mhm.
those.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean,
Pe-
it's just
People just
I'm
thinking
very
that they can take a crack at grabbing somebody's money without actually having
yeah,
achieved
of
anything
course.
first. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
It's a
listen, I'm
delusion.
very particular about how I spend my time, right?
Hmm.
I spent almost 2 decades throwing the best parties in the world. So whatever's happening outside at night, for instance, tonight, doesn't excite me because I know the best night of
Yeah.
your life right now is probably my average Thursday.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't
Exactly.
really care. And
Exactly.
then as
I
far
can't
as like
really
the
go out
startup stuff,
anymore.
again, like same thing. Like if I know the investor's putting it on and it's worth my time, I'll go.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's not. It's a lot of like wannabes, and I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
And it's you have to be protective of your time. I mean, I feel like
Totally.
that's the best resource you
Totally.
have, the most important. And my
Yeah.
time is better spent, doing things I enjoy than having to
Absolutely.
deal with, a whack pitch event or a
Hmm.
stupid, hey,
Yeah.
idea jam or whatever stupid stuff's going on. I don't want to be a
Yeah.
part of.
How
Like I'll
many
do fun
uh
stuff.
how many events or how many companies are you investing in a year?
Right now, we're focused on secondaries, so late stage. So for those listening, if you have a pre-seed, pre-idea, pre-MVP company, feel free to slide your deck into the DMs. I won't read it. You know, yeah. Right now we've done two, working on a
Okay.
third.
Working on a third.
Working on
You're you're
something.
you're looking for like you know, how much would it be? Like 10,000 monthly or a million
Oh no,
yearly
we're talking
or
like
beyond?
right
10
now,
million.
Series B companies, like
Yeah,
very
okay.
late stage Series B companies, we're doing secondary deals in, and then we're working on something else which I can't really talk about, but it's more for
Top secret.
funds and LPs, not so much
Okay.
individual companies, but
Mm,
portfolios of companies. So yeah, and then on the flip side, for early stage companies, my fund is doing a lot of like mergers and acquisitions.
okay.
So they're working on that. But yeah, the secondaries is kind of like the main focus right now. But I work with a ton of founders across the spectrum. Most of them are earlier stage, but I mean like serious founders,
Mhm.
the kind that I don't post about on LinkedIn. I should do a separate kind where it's kind of like,
Yeah.
these are the great founders, but
Yeah.
nobody wants to read that. They want to read
Yeah.
about the stuff that makes them realize that they're not alone, that they're not crazy, that they're not the only one dealing with insane people. I mean, there are good
There are
founders. Listen,
some.
there are
There
good
are
stuff out
some.
there. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
saying there isn't. I'm just saying the vast majority are terrible. Like
Yeah.
I'm actually, I'm stating it for the fact. The vast majority are
Yeah.
terrible. People just, they don't want to be founders. They want to be cool. That's what it
Yeah.
is. Okay,
It's true. They
being a
don't want to put
founder is
in the
not.
work. They want the title,
Yeah,
and they want what comes after doing the grind, but they don't understand that getting that stuff, you can't skip the hard part. You have to actually put
yeah.
in the
And
time.
I mean, it's not a cool thing to be a founder. Okay, let's set the record straight. It's not. It kind of
The grind.
sucks.
Yeah,
Okay,
it does
if
suck.
you enjoy
Yeah.
working long hours with no pay and no
Yeah.
hope of success, then being a founder is for you. Do you
It's for
want to
you.
skip?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to skip happy hours, dates, fun nights and
Friends.
weekends, vacations, friends? Well, then being a founder just
Family
might be for
even.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always joke
Do you
that
like?
I gave up working 8 hours a day to work 24 hours for nothing.
Yeah, for nothing, exactly. So again, it's not for everybody, and I feel like
Yeah.
people need to realize that. And I feel like we have too many people that are hyping up the founder lifestyle, and the
Yeah.
founder lifestyle is cool if you're an exited founder, but seeing
Yeah.
as that's extremely statistically
But
hard to
until
do,
you get
the
there,
founder
it's tough.
lifestyle is again working 7 days a week,
Yeah.
always being
Every
on
waking
point.
moment.
It takes 5 to 7 years if you're lucky to
Yeah.
make it happen. I mean, it's a grind. So, I look at what I do as a service, telling people that their ideas are terrible at the earliest stage so that they don't have to waste
Yeah.
any more time
Fail
and try and,
fast. Fail
well,
fast. Get on to the next
people
thing.
think I cannot begin to tell you how many people think that the fundraising process takes like a week or two.
Yeah.
Like it takes months, if not years.
Yeah.
Like it never takes a week or two unless you're like an Elon Musk, a Mark Zuckerberg,
Yeah.
or you come
Totally.
from like money and you can just go
Yeah.
like to your friends and family because you come from
Yeah.
like again like old school money. If you're a normal person, no, like it's like people like they're so surprised when I
No.
just said like, oh, okay, well, I'm starting fundraising. I should have a bunch of meetings. I was like, what do you
Yeah.
mean you should have a bunch of meetings? Like, do you have meetings? No, but once I reach out, I'm sure they're going to see the
Oh
potential
my
of making
God.
me.
Yeah. You know what?
I was like,
My
okay,
last
cool.
product company we built for 5 years, and we were taking meetings all the time, and we had traction, and we had, like customers, regular ROI, and we still didn't fucking capture that, even with 5 fucking founders. So
Yeah,
for
it's
first, for
tough.
first, yeah, I mean, we had a, yeah, we had a lot of cards stacked up against us. We were in events and entertainment. We launched in 2018. Which we had a couple utility tokens, and it was right after the ICO fucking bullshit, and so everybody was
Mhm.
super skeptical about us. And then 2019, Facebook and Google they banned crypto ads, and so we couldn't advertise for 2 fucking years. And then as soon as we could start advertising again, the world shuts down, and events and entertainment basically was on lockdown for 18 months. And so it's just like one thing after the next. And it doesn't matter how much traction you have, people aren't going to invest in those periods, right? It's like I'm no what else happened? Ethereum went down from 500 to $80. Nobody's going to spend their Ethereum in that window. And then Facebook and Google shutting you down, that's not investable. You can't actually advertise your company. And then the fucking world shuts down. Good luck, you know? It's a hard game, like even outside of going to the investors and trying to get investment, much less having all the ducks in a row
Yeah.
to make them say yes or want to say yes, right? It's just like this, the universe has to align. And if you just showed up in your spaceship today, it's like good fucking luck, man. You got to take a
But we
shot.
have a pitch deck.
We
We have
have
a
a pitch
pitch deck.
deck. Yeah. I'm working. I'm trying. I'm showing up every day. It's just like, guys, you're busy. You're busy. You're not,
Yeah, the
you're not
busyness
productive.
doesn't mean business. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's well, hey, listen, you know that show Dragon's Den? Well, my co-founder watches it. Boom, get us a meeting.
Yeah. So I can empathize totally. So what have been some big wins for you? Are there any interesting companies that you've invested in that have really shown premise or
I mean, for the secondaries, of course, because they're late stage, they're Series
yeah,
B.
they're already
So
growing?
yeah, they're super growing. And then for the I mean, as far as like the other stuff, I mean, it's more like my personal investments of like
Yeah.
things that I got involved in that have great ROI for me. But it's because I look at it at a different standard than I gave this guy 10,000, now I'm a billionaire, which really
Hmm.
doesn't happen. you
Yeah.
know,
Rarely.
power law doesn't do that kind of power.
Yeah.
But it's I mean, listen, I've had more failures than I've had wins, but you
Hmm.
can't win unless you fail.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean,
Well, you just
I've
need
failed
one
as
good one to like make up for all the bad ones, right?
yeah, I mean, well, it's not even that. I feel like you fail more often than you succeed, but I feel like I don't whine about it.
Yeah.
I feel like I just keep going. Again, I failed with parties. I failed with like some startups I was part of. I failed on Jeopardy in front of 10
Hmm.
million people. I'm always failing. I'm a serial failure. I don't
You
care
got on
about it. I just keep
Jeopardy?
going. Yeah. Hence
Get
the
out of
profile
here.
picture
Oh, is that
on
where that's
LinkedIn.
from? I didn't notice it
Yeah.
was Jeopardy, bro. That's so
Yeah,
funny.
man.
I'm
Don't
gonna
talk
go
about God
look
on
right
here.
now.
Yeah,
Was it
100%.
is
So
it
I
is
was
it you
winning
and Al?
too.
You and Alex.
Of
Oh
course.
yeah, it is you and Alex Trebek. Look at that.
Yeah, man, I don't mess
I don't
around.
know how I
You
missed
know?
that. I just thought it was some old geezer that you were
No, no
working
problem.
with.
Yeah. That's what we do. We work on the game show together. Yeah,
That's
I
so
write all the
funny,
hard
bro.
questions. I want people to win. You can't play.
He's
You
really
can't win
old
if you don't play.
there. I didn't recognize him
Um,
because he's got the gray hair,
that
Uh,
was like right before he passed away. It was
yeah.
literally one of the last like episodes.
Okay.
So yeah, so it was
That's
there, was
awesome.
winning. Daily double sunk me,
Uh,
so I lost. Only want to know Final Jeopardy. Kind of annoying,
what
but
was the question? Do
yeah,
you
I
remember
keep
the question? Is it
for
like
the
ingrained in
daily
your
double.
mind? Yeah.
Of course, yeah, it's a Canadian question. You'll like this.
What was it?
Um, it, it was something about like this island in the St. Lawrence is home to like I forget X amount of people, and I was like, what island in the St. Lawrence? Like, it's not Prince Edward Island. It's not Newfoundland. It's not like
Yeah.
what island they talk about. So I had no idea,
There's
and
a
it turned out
thousand islands there.
Montreal. Well, Montreal's the big one.
Yeah.
Here you go. So one, I learned Montreal was an island, as did everyone
Yeah.
else
It
watching.
is.
Right? No
Yeah.
idea. Second, Montreal, I think, is the largest inhabited island surrounded by fresh water in the world.
It
So I
is.
should have known it, but it didn't come up. And like I studied for a month straight, and it didn't come up. So that sunk me. A very hard
Yeah.
question, which is fine.
Yeah. I don't think
I
it's in
got
the
to go
St.
on.
Lawrence though. I'm gonna
Pretty
look.
sure it is. Like,
It's the Ottawa River surrounds it. I'm
well,
gonna have a
I'm
look
pretty
now.
sure it was St. Lawrence, but I could be wrong. It was a few years
Yeah.
ago. Um, but yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
because the St. Lawrence goes from Kingston. Oh, it is there. Oh yeah, on one side of it.
Okay,
It's
okay.
it's where
Judges, judges.
it's where the Ottawa River and the St. Lawrence converge, funnily
Well,
enough.
for those listening at home, Montreal is an island. If you ever go on
It is.
Jeopardy, it's a very tough gotcha question. They're all
It
gotcha
is.
questions, but like that one really got me because the first Daily Double I knew, the second one I did it, and the third one someone else rang in and I knew it. And I also knew Final Jeopardy, which no one else knew. So it really kind of annoyed me, but it was all fun. I got the high five Alex Trebek, last one to
Fuck
ever
yeah.
do it on air.
That's awesome, man.
Put that on the list, and yeah, so it's all good.
That's fun. Even I learned something just now. That's so funny. I've been there.
Well, see, yeah, that's what people said. People say it's not an island. I've been there.
Yeah. No, I know it's an island, but I didn't realize that one side of it was the St. Lawrence. I thought it was the Ottawa River on both sides. So
Well, now we know. We all
now
learned
you
today
know.
as a we all know, And next time they should ask a real question. Tell me about the French and Indian War and Plains of Abraham. Okay, like I knew that.
You're well adversed on those ones. That's
I
so
was
funny,
well
bro.
versed at everything. It's just the problem is you can't know everything. That's
Absolutely.
the problem.
That's
You
the
can
name of the
only know
game.
so much.
It's
That's
the
the
name
name
of
of
the
the
game.
game. What you don't know, somebody else is an expert in, and what somebody else is an expert in, you don't know.
Are they
So,
still showing it?
um,
Does Jeopardy still come on
well,
TV?
of
Or is it in
course.
syndication? Yeah. Who's the
I
host
mean,
now? Oh yeah,
Ken Jennings is the host.
Ken Jennings, the super winner. That's
Yeah.
right. No,
So,
nobody could beat him.
um, yeah. So it's so there's a new Jeopardy coming on. There's Pop Culture Jeopardy coming on Amazon, which I'm allowed as a former contestant to appear on. I'm not allowed to come back to
Oh,
Jeopardy unless I'm invited. But I don't really know pop culture, and I really don't have the like wherewithal to study like Taylor Swift albums.
yeah. I
So
don't know.
I'm gonna
I don't
see
know how to
it's
play.
it's gonna air. They taped it this past weekend. I want to watch it because it's gonna be on Prime, and it's a Team Jeopardy thing. I already have a team. If I want to do it and I fill it out, I will. But I don't want to go on it again to lose. I want to go on it to win. But again, it's like this Billboard top 100 albums with this song. I was like, that's not me. I'm all about like
Forget that shit.
history and opera
Trivial
and
Pursuit.
finance. Yeah, like I know like a lot of knowledge, but when it comes to like again pop culture, I mean, depending on the level of it,
I
I
don't
could be
put.
like, oh, Bone Thugs and Harmony, no problem. But then if it's something like ASAP Rocky, I'm like, what?
Yeah. Who?
So yeah,
How do you
exactly.
spell that?
Yeah,
With a dollar sign?
exactly. Yeah. What? So yeah, it's yeah, I feel that it's a fun thing. I recommend everyone to do it if they want to. But that's like my mentality for everything. Like I don't wait for permission. Okay, I go after what I
exactly.
want and I say what I want to say.
Yeah.
And It's like same thing with nightclubs, same thing with entrepreneurship, same thing with venture capital.
Yeah.
I don't mess around. If I want to do something,
You
I
got to
do
be
it.
in it to win it.
Yeah, well, you got to be in it in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's start at the basics.
Nothing to it but to do it. These are my sayings. Come on.
Yeah. Well, get the Nike logo up there. Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, bro. So let's what are some things that you're looking for in a pitch that really like let's go first with break it.
First with break it.
Yeah. What breaks it like a well-formed pitch? Let's assume the pitch is well-formed and it's not 50 slides and the guy knows what he's talking about. What's like your top 3 red flags?
There's not 3. There's more than 3. Here, I'm just gonna break it down
3.
of what I can. Okay, let's just break it down. Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, I feel like we should have some like visual cues here, like some bullet points. Like, editor, put some bullet points right here.
Ding, ding,
Boom!
ding.
Or a drum roll or music. Okay, let's do a list. Top X things that break your pitch deck. Number 1, being too long. We already said you don't want to have a 50-page slide deck, but still, people still make it too long. But Shaun, what do you mean? 29 slides isn't long. My lawyer said this is perfect. That's because they want to keep you on retainer and you're paying them. So that's why they say it's perfect. Yes. Number 1, it's too long. Number 2, it's poorly designed. Investors don't really care about design, but we want to have something that is in between unreadable and made with Clippy in 2002 on PowerPoint. Yeah. So at least have it somewhat prettied up, but it doesn't have to be 3-dimensional with videos and all of that. I don't want to have a stroke reading it. Okay. Yeah. Like number 3, I don't want to have any medical conditions reading it. No stroke, no seizure, no brain embolism, nothing like that. So keep it simple. Number 4, no spelling or grammatical errors. Okay, especially on the very first page, because first impressions are everything. And speaking of the very first page, don't put a date, and don't put a date of when the round is closing, especially if you have 0 people that have invested. We're closing this round on August 30th. Yeah. Well, that's 7 days away. How many people invested? None.
0.
None, but that's what we're doing, so we can get it. We can get it.
Oh, but we're gonna reopen it immediately on the 8th.
Yeah, exactly. Number 5. Having a team slide that is the Avengers Assemble. Okay, startups, three founders are great. 4 is getting a little rough. 5, okay. After that, that's it. You don't have 25 founders. So if you do,
what about single founders? Is that a red flag as well?
Single founders is fine. It's not a red flag. It's just a little hard. It's much more difficult being a single founder.
If you're an experienced if you're an experienced founder, does that rings okay?
Yes, much better. Much better. But usually it's always 2 or 3. Number 6, having a bazillion advisors that do nothing for your startup, but just you put them in there to make it look cool. They advise on the advice. Like, again, I've seen decks that have advisors. I've had advisors that they have an advisor as a pitch deck expert, and the deck is terrible. That just brings it right there. That it's just like, it's terrible. What am I on? 6? Number 6, when you're talking about yourself, core competencies as it applies to your startup. Okay. So things I don't want to see, which are even like more red flags broken down. Places you've traveled, your high school GPA, if you're part of any organizations like the Parent Teacher Association, if you're a parent, if you're a family man, if you have pets, if you collect hot rods, all that stuff, unless it applies to what you're doing, is bullshit. Nobody wants to see it. Number 7.
Hot rod AI.
Number 7, having a problem so detailed that it takes 8 slides to demonstrate the problem instead of 1. I need to know within 1 slide what the problem is with a few bullet points and maybe some market data. Number 4, having a market slide that goes on for 5. Number 8. Are we on 8 or 7? I think
we're on 9.
Okay. 9, having a market slide that instead of focusing on your niche of the market, which is worth X amount, say for instance, you're going into, let's just say for the practicality, you are going into AI for sushi, because why not? You're in AI for sushi, but you list the entire market cap of the restaurant industry globally. So the global restaurant industry is worth $75 trillion.
We're going to capture 1% of it.
Yes. Again, the next thing, if we can capture 1%, everybody wants to capture 1%. That's number 10. The capturing 1%. Okay. When a company IPOs, that's when they capture the 1%. Okay. You're not going to do that. Okay. So don't even say it. Number 5. Number 11, because I'm thinking the pitch deck, the slides. No, are we going above? We'll just keep going. Number 11.
If you got them.
Having your solution slide be multiple slides, because you want to showcase how awesome it is. I just need to know what it does, how it works, what the status is. People don't even tell me the status. Is it a version 1? Is it an MVP? Is it a mock-up? Is it an idea in your head that you're just talking about to see if someone's interested? That happens more than you think. Number 12, if you have a product, you don't talk about the product. What does it do? Lots of cool stuff. It solves the problem. I want to see it broken down. What does it do? How does it work? What does it run on?
It's innovative technology, Shaun. That's all you need to know. It's innovative solution.
Innovative, groundbreaking technology. Are we up to 12? Yes. Number 12. No business model. How are you going to make money? Okay, I need to know. Is it SaaS? Are you doing some sort of freemium? Is it a product? Are you doing something simple like buying something for $1 and selling it for $5? Need to know. People don't include a business model. Lucky number 13, competition. Oh, I love the competition slides, especially when they have the quadrants. Right here is Facebook and Google, and then beneath us is Microsoft. Here. And then OpenAI is up here, and then we are above all of them. Yes, they have billions of users and tens of billions of dollars in revenue, maybe more. We're above all of them. Or they could have no competition slide. They could say they have no competition, meaning they didn't do the market research. And then if I tell them of their competition, there's always I think we're better than all of them combined, even though you just told us about them. So that's it. Number 14, traction. That's always missing. Traction is probably one of the most important slides you can have in a deck, because it showcases your pipeline. If you have one, your letters of intent, LOIs for you kids in the audience, revenue to date, signups, waiting list. Other than we did a Google survey and everyone says it's cool, especially my 7th grade chemistry partner.
My mom thinks it's a great idea.
Yeah, they're gonna buy it. We have 10 people organically signed up. That's why I need $1 million. Duh. Think about it. Are we on 15? Yeah, 15. The ask. Okay, people forget to add the ask. They either don't have an ask slide, which is the point of a pitch deck, because you're pitching an idea to ask for money. You're not pitching to take them for ice cream. That's a date. Okay, that's a Tinder date. It's not asking for millions of dollars, although some dates will feel like that. So number 15,
or at least 18 years of your life.
Yes. So for the ask, it's either it's not there or it's way too high. We're seeking $25 million for our pre-seed company.
I think even $1 million is a big ask when you're not making any money.
In this environment, $1 million is a big ask. I tell everybody for right now to raise the least amount possible. If you can get away with $500K, $250K, because no real institutional investor is probably going to invest you anyway. Do a WeFund or go friends and family. I don't know, have a bake sale, whatever you got to do. But asking for millions of dollars at an early stage is not going to happen. Asking for
you got to show that you know how to spend it before anybody gives it to you.
Well, that's another thing. Number 16, use of proceeds. Okay, all early stage startups are pretty much the same. They're going to spend on technology and growth. And
I haven't heard that one before.
They're not spending it on salaries. Okay, I cannot begin to tell you how many founders have to put
I want a salary for myself. Yeah,
it's full time. Yeah, but it's not just a salary for myself. It's a full time gig where it's I think $18,000 a month is more than enough time for me to is more than enough money to cover my costs for doing this. So there's that. Number 17, there's no mention of any previous investors. The ask slide is where you shine, right? So if you have previous investors, and I say this because people say, they tell me we've already raised $800,000. It's not in the deck. I'm not a mind reader. I'm not Professor Xavier over here. It's not the X-Men. Okay, unless you put it in there, you can say we've already raised X amount from these funds or these investors. No one's gonna know.
Nobody wants to be the first.
Well, 19, you're not including a burn rate. I always say include a burn rate, just so you know what you're talking about, because people don't know. I've had people say, well, this will give us 3 months of funding. Okay, so you're going to spend 18 months to raise 3 months of funding, and then you're going to go back and spend another 18 months. They don't realize it. And for those at home, the burn rate is on average, it should give you 18 to 24 months. The more it gives you, the better.
I would say 18.
You don't want, you want to have it hopefully 2 years, maybe more. And then finally the contact page, which sometimes is missing as well. So is that 20? Are we up to the 20? Yeah.
That's
Sometimes there's
true.
no contact page.
I
Yeah.
missed the contact page. I just assume you know how to get in touch with me, Shaun. Come on, I'm here in
No,
front of
like
you.
I
Let's
mean, it's like
talk. Let's talk, buddy.
I gave you my business card. Like there's no contact page. So, and again, with the contact
Yeah,
page, you should name, email, phone number,
yeah,
website, done.
yeah,
Yeah, you don't need a lot of the other crap. I
yeah,
mean, you really don't, especially if you're really early stage, you don't need a financial model. You put in your data room, but I don't
yeah.
really need to see a financial model that says
I guess it's
right
a
now you're
crapshoot,
doing
right?
zero.
You're just
Well,
guessing at
well,
what could be.
it's not even guessing. It's like being Thanos and using the Infinity Stones to warp reality to your whim. Okay, you're zero right now, but in year 3, you're making $100 million. Okay,
Yeah,
like it makes no sense.
yeah.
So yeah, those are the top 20 red flags
Red
that I can think of off
flags.
the top of my head.
Man, you went right through that spiel. Okay, let's talk
Well,
about sweet spots. Okay, what's the sweet spots? Like, let's go slide by slide. This seems to be
for
your
things
passion.
that I like. Okay.
Yeah. Let's go
Um,
slide by slide. First of all, how
slide
many slides? How many slides are we talking about? I want to
for pre-seed, seed,
prefix this.
9 to 11. 9
9
to
to
11.
11. Okay, what's seed?
That
What's
includes
slide?
that includes the first page and the contact page. So it's
Yeah.
technically like 9 slides. That's it.
Okay. So
Um,
the first
so
page is what? How do you open with a good pitch deck? What's the magic there? You want to have a question, you want to
value
propose the
proposition
problem?
and
Value prop.
no value proposition and tagline.
Yeah.
So let's
Okay.
use our AI for sushi model. Okay, artificial sashimi incorporated. Whatever. Okay, making your sushi experience better with AI. Done. That should be on the first page. I just need to know what it does and the tagline. Very simple.
Okay.
Again, people don't include a first page or they just dive right into the problem, and I don't know what their company is. I don't know what they're doing.
Hmm.
So that's first page. Also, no grammatical errors.
Yeah.
Just having a free hanging period on the page. Yeah, okay. Full stop.
Missing comma?
So that's it. Yeah, maybe. And then again, team. Everyone's always hung up on minimum viable product, but it's really at the early stage the minimum viable team.
Yeah.
A team that is a full team. I've seen decks where it's like there's 2 people and then there's a question mark. I was like, is the Riddler a founder? Like,
His
like,
name is
and they're like, oh,
Edward
that's
Nigma.
yes, Enigma. Enigma. He's one of the smartest people. He's great. He poses all this stuff.
He solves
Does he
all
have
the
an answer?
problems. But
Yeah.
he
Does he have
talks
an
in
answer to
riddles
this
though.
riddle?
He's really hard to work with.
Does he have an answer to this riddle? Why won't you get funding? you know. So yeah, usually there's a placeholder, and you need to have a core team ready before you start pitching. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing. You have a core team, and with that core team, I want to see the core competencies of what you do. So for AI for sushi, I'd like people that have worked in AI, and I'd like people that have experience in the hospitality/restaurant business. It might make sense if you open Nobu, or if you were part of a very high brand,
Yeah.
globally known, or you worked with OpenAI, things like that. Not just like
Should
it's
should
sushi enthusiasts.
yeah
you know,
should sushi chef be on the bill for
I
sushi
think it
AI?
should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
if you're doing AI for sushi, you need to have either as an advisor or as a co-founder. You should have someone that has 20 years of experience or 10 years of
Making
experience in
sushi
high-end,
like.
high-producing sushi restaurants. Yeah, so you should have that, and then
Okay.
you again the stuff you don't need is like sushi enthusiasts, AI user, AI fan.
AI
I'm an AI
enthusiast.
originator. Yes, I was a
The
fan since
enthusiast word
Terminator.
really bugs me too because like if you're not obsessed about the thing, like you having like I have enthusiasm about all kinds of things. That doesn't mean that I'm like obsessed enough to be a founder in that thing. Like
I
I
mean,
like boating, like I'm a boating enthusiast. I'm not going to start a boating company because I like to go out on my friend's boat on the weekend when he invites me, you know?
of course. I mean, but that's how people operate and that's how they think. So you really want to be focused and have the background to back it up. So if you have that background and have the logos to showcase that you actually are a killer, that you have a competitive edge, that you have an unfair advantage over the many other companies that are probably doing AI for sushi, although they're more kind of laser focused. They're doing it for rolls. We're doing it for all of sushi.
Their products don't have AI. They're just ChatGPT built on top
they're
of
just ChatGPT for
ChatGPT.
California rules. Okay, it's not good. So yeah, I'd like to see like a team that impresses me.
So
Right? Like a very
are these in order? Like, should they be in this order? Yeah.
This is my order.
Okay.
Especially at the early stage, because you're investing in the team. So I want to be wowed. So I had problem, very simple. Whatever it is, getting the right sushi for your budget or whatever your allergies. I don't know, because I'm making it up as I go along for AI for sushi. But the problem has to be there. Knowing what kind of fish you're getting on a important, which is why we provide this. So the problem needs to be there, and it needs to be really simple, right? It just needs big letters, very simple, with some bullet
This is the
points.
third slide after team?
Yep. Third slide, problem. Fourth slide is market size. Why now? As I talked about earlier, it's a laser focused market that you're going after you can even base it on geography. We're only operating in sushi restaurants in the downtown Toronto area as our test market before we expand to the greater new market and smaller little towns throughout Canada to get all the provinces. Like, don't try and do everything at once, because I see all the decks going like, here's our market. We're going to be in London by next week, and by the start of next month, we'll be in South America. Like, it doesn't work.
That's good. That's a good tip.
So yeah, market, why now? And then the solution, whatever AI for sushi actually does. Okay, sell it, make it cool, have the picture of it. Again, if you don't have a picture, then a wireframe or a mock-up, or make something cool. Then it's broken down the product.
Is that the real wow page is there on, was that slide 5? Is that like
slide 5 and 6 are the wow pages for your product. That's your wow. Whether you have a link to a video, whether you have your screenshots, whether you have it in action, those are your wow pages, right? As far as the product is concerned, as far as what you're building. Business model, you have to have one. Again, people don't include it. I need to know how you're going to make money. Everyone's going to love it. That's the business model. Like that's it. They're all going to love it. Then we have, again, competition, which we talked about. If you're going to do a competition slide, which you have to do, you want to showcase why you're going to win and why you're the best. You're not going to showcase why you're competing against an incumbent. Okay. You're showcasing why you're better than the 3 to 5 other AI for sushi startups that are probably going after the same money and same investors you are. You want to showcase why you have either it's the team has the experience, the product does something no one else does, it's actual real AI and not ChatGPT overlay. You have an actual moat that's defensible. All that. That's kind of what it is. It's not the quadrants. It's not the quadrants, and it's not the boxes. AI for sushi do what Nintendo don't. With the green check marks and the X's. Trust me, just showcase why you're going to win, why you're going to come in and take this. And then we have, of course, the ask. We went over it already. And then we have the contact. And now what you're thinking, but Shaun, what about my go-to-market slide? It's really important. Here's the thing. Unless you have a real go-to-market slide, okay. Oh, and I forgot the traction. See, I was getting ahead of myself. I already assumed you had no traction because it was AI for sushi. But yeah, AI for the traction after competition before the ask. We have X amount of sushi restaurants signed up. We have Chef Morimoto bringing in. We have a national treasure. Whatever you want to do. Again, you have a pipeline. That's what it is. You want to have that you have it. We have 100,000 people on a waiting list. We have 0 ad spend. We have every sushi restaurant in America already on it, like signing up. We just called them all and we onboarded them ourselves. Nothing spent on advertising. Once we launch, or we're in the process of turning $5,000 a month into $20,000 a month. Whatever. Make it sexy. Put it up there. Then we have the ask, and then going back to why you don't have a go-to-market slide is that every go-to-market slide and every single pitch deck is the exact same thing. Unless you have an actual real go-to-market slide that is actually proven, that is different, they're all going to say the same thing. They're going to be let's go down the bullshit bingo go-to-market slide game, shall we?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Events, virtual and in person, because when all else fails, get a bunch of strangers in a room and hope for the best. Social media, yes, run ads and hope somebody clicks. Influencers, spend money you don't have on people that are probably not going to send you any business.
Yeah.
LinkedIn thought leadership, okay, takes a while, but sure, I'm sure
Yeah.
you'll convert because every sushi restaurant spends their time on LinkedIn.
Who doesn't love sushi, man?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we do. What else do we have? We have the event trade shows. Yes, I'm sure you're going to have a booth at a trade show. What else do we have? Strategic partnerships. That's right. We're going to be partnering with the fish themselves. That way they know they can trust us before
They
they
want to
get
know
bite.
who's going to be eating them, you know?
Yeah, exactly. They're very concerned. They're very concerned about what happens after they expire from the ocean. Um, yeah, I mean, what else do I have on my card? I think that covers
Yeah.
most of it of what everyone
What's
does.
okay? Let's dive into this a little bit deeper on the optimistic side. What looks good on a go to market card?
If it's actually real, where you have a pipeline and you actually say, if you're doing events, right? You can say we already have done a series of, let's just say, happy hour events that bring in 500 people on average.
Do you wish you could launch your business without the need of VC investment? How would having a full board of chief executives by your side change your business? We're talking about a CEO, a CTO, a CMO, a CPO, a CCO, a COO, a CLO, and a CFO. It's an easy way to add $100,000 per month burn rate to your business. Did you know that you could have all those people on your team for as little as $2,000 per month? A fractional is a part-time, fully embedded leader. The only difference between a fractional and their full-time counterpart is that they're part-time. They have senior level domain expertise. They have a strong record of leading people and organizations. Their outcome is capably building and driving sustainable growth for the long term. They're fully accountable for the business results and operating on a day-to-day rate or retainer. And they operate as a business leader at a fraction of their full-time capacity. Any small to medium-sized business, startup, or scale-up on a budget can benefit from a fractional expertise and experience to help them survive or thrive. That's what we do. We've helped countless entrepreneurs over the last 20 years build their products and help them position themselves for years. We've tried hourly pricing or fixed pricing and value pricing, and it's always expensive when you are bootstrapping. To come up with $20,000 to $50,000 to implement a scope of work. That's why we've switched to subscription pricing, so that you only have to pay for what you need when you need it. When you need us a little, we are there for you a little. When you need us a lot, we are there for you a lot. When you sign up by September 1st, you get started for only $250. Build the company of your dreams without selling your soul to investors. Beeline it straight for product market fit. Start delivering value to your customers and get earnings as soon as possible to pay for your business instead of ruining your cap table. My guarantee, meet with me for 1 month, and if you do not see the value in continuing, you can cancel at any time. No obligation to continue after your first month. What do you have to lose? You're going to have to spend millions of dollars to build your company. $250 to have a leader by your side from the start is an extremely great value. When it comes to time to increase the need for that leader, you're already plugged into the best pricing possible for our subscription model. Sign up today. There's definitely been a few things that I'm going to take away from this, and
All right.
I will actually put out some point forward things for my communities when I share it, and so
Great. And please
we're
include my LinkedIn. Smash
yeah,
that like button.
ding 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 ding.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we were on what makes a good go to market, or was
Yeah,
that
what
what it
makes a good
was? Yeah.
go-to-market? Again, I was talking about having real events that are proven. You're doing a happy
Right.
hour, you're getting people to come, you're signing up, you're doing a networking event that's actually proven. You have people that are signed up. You actually have a community already built. So you're building a community. Like, it's not going to be on the slide unless it's already like there. But let's say you have a community of 5,000 people on Slack that are
Mhm.
active, right?
Yeah.
You can use that to convert people at no cost, or Discord, or a Facebook group,
Yeah.
or a LinkedIn group. You want to have something that is no cost, low cost
Mm-hmm.
that you can do right now that you don't need investor money for,
Yeah.
you can actually already hit the market. Or else it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be like all the things I ran down the list of that are just like throwing everything at the wall and hoping it sticks. I mean, it's so when I was doing nightlife, okay, because I'm starting to talk about this more. That's what people want to hear. They want to hear about the nightlife ninja days, which is fine. My go-to-market was really simple. I literally put flyers or VIP passes on every desk or underneath all the dorm room doors or everyone I met, and then I got their number. It didn't cost anything. I was paid to do it, or I was paid per person to get it, and I built my entire marketing strategy like that. And once I had a crowd, I was able to utilize that crowd for more referrals. I was able to get into hotels and get concierges. I was able to partner with different people. I never ran a single ad. I never spent a single dollar on marketing.
Mm-hmm.
I let the clubs do that or the brands, and I just did my thing because I had the reputation for trust.
You put in the sweat equity.
Well, it wasn't even sweat equity. It was just that was the work, right?
Yeah.
Like that was the whole thing. So I had to come up with innovative ways to get people to the venue, right? I mean, like one guy I worked with, when I was just starting out, he gave me some great advice, and he said, you have to do whatever you have to do to get people's attention to get them to go to your party. If you have to be naked on the top of the library and bungee jump to get their attention, then do it. You want to get their attention.
Come to my party.
Yeah, but that's what it is. Because it was very competitive. You had to build a crowd. It wasn't overnight, but that's what I did, and I literally, built a Rolodex and a database of thousands and thousands of people.
Do you still have that list?
Time.
Do you still leverage that list?
I don't really leverage it because one, those people have aged out. Two, it's more like the individuals who I know, because I have some startups that were clients and a lot of Wall Street people and a lot of funds and stuff, but it's not the entire list because right now that age bracket is, I'd say, from like 28 to 60. So there's not one thing I could use them for, right? Like they're just all over the place. Mm-hmm. So if I was doing a pitch deck, I wouldn't brag about my database because
you could have like a fund through all of them. They all throw in 10K each. You have a pretty good little pile of money to work with.
Yeah, I don't really want to bug them. Here's the thing. This is Miami, okay? Yeah. Like people bug people for stuff all the time. Yeah. And I get bugged all the time, like outside of the startup and the venture stuff. There's pyramid schemes, there's, real estate schemes, there's crypto, there's just so much crap. So I don't really like to bug people. I like to add value to them, right? Yeah. So if I'm coming out of semi-retirement and I'm doing an event and it's a fun event, I will bug them because, hey, I'm doing an event which is done by the break of 8 p.m. That's what people want now. It's a happy
home
hour,
by
8 o'clock. Yeah, it's home by 9, but that's what it is. I've seen it transition and I'm totally with it. But if it's something cool where there's like free drinks and open bar, like it's, hey, come after work. No pressure, no guest list, no bullshit. Just come with your friends. We can catch up. And if you want to get out of the house, I'm cool with it. I leverage it. But it's if for instance, like a brand like the old days came to me and they said, Shaun, we want you to come back and bring 1,000 people. One, I don't think I could do it. But two, if it was cool enough, I would, put my nightlife ninja boots back on and I would send a mass text and do it because those kind of events were fun for me, right? Like my ideal event was something in the day, either at a mansion, a yacht, or a hotel that was done by 8 o'clock, right? It would start at 2 or 3. You would have like swag bags, open bar, celebrity hosting, the DJ, and they were just fun. Those were the best events. It wasn't really like nightclubs are fun, but like people want the day stuff. They want to be able to leave work early, skip school, whatever, and
I kind of like the morning dance parties where
I've heard of those. I've never done them.
Instead of going to the gym, you can show up there with your kids and listen to techno and just dance for 2 hours, and I think that would be a really fun thing to do for all the old school ravers who just they just want to go out and dance like they used to, but
I don't know if it's still around. There's a thing called Daybreakers because I knew them and it started at 7 a.m. and I was like, this ain't for me. I was like, but it was like a 7 a.m. thing that was done by 10. So people would come and do it before going to work or whatever instead of the gym. Apparently it did a lot of people. So, but it wasn't for me. I wasn't going to wake up it was hard enough for me when I was doing nightlife to wake up and go to a pool party that I was throwing that started at 2 o'clock. Okay. Like on a Sunday, I would be like, okay, this is a little rough. But that's what I had to do.
Waking up at the crack of noon is tough.
Yeah, it was. For years, I would sleep till noon or 1 o'clock because I'd be up till
Yeah,
4 in the morning. I mean, even
yeah.
that, I was just wired. Um, but yeah, but going back to it, I mean, that was like my go-to-market strategy. Go to the customer, talk to the customer, get the
Hmm.
customer, convert. I
Hmm.
didn't throw like that's what really also kind of annoys me with startups is that just nobody puts any thought into their business. They just try to convince people how cool they are and that they're investable, and they're not. Like it's very hard to raise money, and not everyone does it. That's why when you go to like actual institutional funds or whatever, they always have like we invest in 0.1% of the pitches we get every year. They might only invest five startups a year, four
Yeah.
startups a year, but they might get 50,000 decks.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I mean, it's all about
Hmm.
power law. It's about picking winners. It's very hard to pick winners. And you if you really want to raise funding and be a real startup, you have to be equipped for the journey. You have
Hmm.
to be prepared. You
Yeah.
you can't just where's my deck? Where's my money?
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's kind of like give me a pitch deck, Shaun, and then introduce me to your network of investors. And
Hmm.
it's like I'm not going to do that. Like it's for everyone I work with on the startup side. Like I try to give them as much value as I can. If they're
Totally.
really good, I will open some doors for them. Like
Yeah.
100%. I have no problem opening some doors and giving them a connection that could change their life. No problem. It's just that when it's complete strangers that have terrible ideas, horrible decks, and then like demand that of me,
Hmm.
it's just not happening.
Yeah. You said here the power of law, or
The power
what?
law.
The power law. Is that a
Yeah.
singular thing, or are you talking
So
about Robert
power law.
Greene?
So no, that's the 48 laws of power. But you're well
Yeah.
read, ladies and gentlemen. Rick Graham. Yeah, so power law is how every venture capitalist firm operates. So
Okay.
for all my founders out there, if you don't know how power
Let's
law
hear it.
works, you better figure it out.
Let's
I
listen.
wrote an article
Tell us.
for it on OpenVC. You can read it right now. You can learn about it. Power law is essentially investing the least amount of money and getting the highest return possible. I give
Okay.
you an example.
Yes.
Peter Thiel gave Mark Zuckerberg $500,000 into Facebook. And 6 or 7 years later, forgive me, I have to check the exact time frame. Facebook IPO'd and the $500,000 investment became worth $1 billion. Okay, that is
Okay.
power law. Okay, power law is me giving you the least amount of money and then you becoming the next Facebook, the next Uber, the next Figma, the next Canva, the next Instagram, the next Snapchat. Like that's what VCs want because when a
Yeah.
VC can have that kind of return, their investors are going to love them, right?
Yeah.
It gives them a reputation of they know how to pick winners and we make money with them. The problem is that a lot of VC firms don't have that power law return. They'll have maybe 10 companies in a portfolio, 8 of them are going to fail. That's
Hmm.
how it is. 2 of them are going to have an exit. It's not going to be a 50x return or a
Yeah.
100x return. It's going to be a 7x return, a 10x return.
Hmm.
Yeah, you make money, but you're not at that money where it's like I put $50,000 into Uber and it became 250 million, right?
Yeah.
It's not that level, So that's what everybody's after.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be a startup, you want to be one of those, scalable, world-changing startups that
Hmm.
people want to invest in and don't want
Yeah.
to get, a 2x return. I mean,
It's
2x return is for your uncle. Here's
yeah.
$50,000, and in 10 years, if I get 150,000 back, I'm happy.
Yeah.
That's for that. You want to have that, and it's again, it's not impossible, but it's next to impossible to have because so many startups out there. You try your best as an investor, as an
Hmm.
analyst, as a VC to pick a winner. You try your best as a founder to be a winner, and just it's not always the case. There's so many startups that raise tens of millions of dollars and have failed.
Yeah. Like what was it? FanDuel. The founders of FanDuel got $0 from their like $450 million investment.
Oh, that
How
sounds
important?
fun.
How important is the exit? Like, if you're building a company that you don't plan, like you said, for example, Uber. Like Uber never exited, but they,
Get IPO.
they IPO'd. Okay, that's an
Yeah,
exit. Yeah.
that's an exit.
Okay. What other kinds of exits are there? Just
I mean,
like
it's
straight
really
up
there's
sell
only
the
two.
company. You
It's
sell the company or you
acquisition
go public.
sell the company or go public, or you can do what everyone does: fail and close up shop. That's an exit. Or
Yeah.
for most of my founders, here's the door, there's the exit. Leave, leave me
Leave.
alone.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I always
it's
get this too. It's like I don't really plan on selling my companies ever, although I could
mhm.
probably like just get them started and then give the problems to somebody else. But when I'm building something, it's because I'm kind of the ideal customer for it. and I wanted to help supplement the problems of my business so that I don't have to pay other companies to do that work for me. And so like I see the value in investing my time in those products because I'm, genuinely in need of it myself. And people are always asking what's your exit strategy. I was just like, I'm going to use this until I die.
I
that
mean,
I
well,
sup-
listen, you you need to have a way to give the investors their money back
yeah,
if you're taking on outside
yeah,
investment, right?
yeah.
So they want to have an exit
So
strategy. I
like
mean,
an,
listen,
an
Jeff Bezos still.
annual dividend isn't that's not
I
tasty.
mean, you either get acquired or you do some sort of revenue share deal if you really want. But you really want, I mean, if you want VC money, you need to exit. Okay,
Yeah,
like listen, Jeff Bezos still runs Amazon, but they had an IPO, in the '90s, and now the
yeah.
shares are worth, I don't even know the current valuation,
Orders of
right? But
magnitude more for sure.
yeah, so if you're an early investor, you
Yeah.
kept your shares, just like you're an early investor in Google, and you kept your shares, they're worth quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
So
Do
you
do
want to give
people
you.
do people keep their money in after they IPO? Like, because obviously the
It
longer you
depends.
hold,
It
the better.
depends.
Yeah.
Not always. Um, Lime, the scooter company, delisted after their IPO because they
Hmm.
failed.
Yeah.
you know, um, certain like it depends on who you are and your risk preference, right? Some people want their money immediately and they just collect and they're out. That's it.
Yeah.
Some people are long term and they want to hold it, or some people don't need the money and they just want to hold on to it, or don't want to pay the capital gains or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But I mean, if there's a chance for you to like exit out and get $10 million tomorrow, or 50 million 3 years from now, I'm gonna take the 10 million and run, because a lot of
Yeah.
times companies tank, they get delisted.
Yeah.
When you get delisted, companies like that get delisted, they make you a millionaire if you're a billionaire. Okay,
Yeah.
you lose your investment, you lose all your money. So yeah, it really depends on your individual risk preference. But you want to give, if you have a fund, you have to give returns to your partners, your limited partners.
Totally. Um, what was I gonna ask? I had a question. Um,
Let's take some calls from the viewers at home.
don't
Caller
you
number one.
don't you like? Aren't you doing a huge disservice by selling after IPO? Because that would affect the price and really.
No, because you're not. It's not a pump and dump. I mean, listen, when you do an IPO, because I was involved with the microcap Reg A offering, so I know I worked on it. It never went to the market, which sucks. But I'm very familiar with the SEC and doing the offering circular. So as a member of that company, even I was allowed to sell certain number of shares that
Mhm.
day, right?
Yeah.
Clearly, it was in the paperwork, and as long as you declare it, right?
Yeah.
So me, as I wasn't even a co-founder, I was just an executive officer at the company, right?
Yeah.
I was declaring that I was going to sell, if it went to IPO, X amount of shares. So everyone already knew that
Yeah.
yes, I would hold X amount, but I was still going to sell. I wasn't selling everything. And again, you're selling your small stake. In the public markets are essentially infinite capital, right? You're
Yeah.
dealing with infinite capital. It's not like you're a Bill Ackerman or whatever, and you're an activist investor, or you're one of the biggest investors at Citadel or whatever, and you're a name brand investor and you dump all your shares, right? That would be a little different. But if you're
Yeah.
dumping 100,000 shares or 500,000 shares or a million shares, but you still have a whole bunch of it, like it's fine. That's what it is. You
Yeah.
get liquidity. People need liquidity, especially if
Yeah.
you have a startup and it's like you have equity. Well, I want to sell that equity because instead of getting paid what I should be getting paid, I worked for peanuts because you promised me equity, and now it's
Yeah.
time to collect. Time to pay the piper.
I know. Yeah. I know that vibe. Been there a couple times. Cool. Cool, Sean. Very informative. I love this chat. Probably, next time we have one, I'll be a little bit more prepared with like questions and stuff to ask. I like to keep
Oh,
these
we're
a little
coming
bit.
back. Okay, but we got to do
We're
it like
we're
6 months from now.
we're
Can't
we're
do it
kind
too
of
close.
casual. Yeah, yeah. I mean, whenever you have something that you want to talk to people about, then of course you can get into
I
my
appreciate
scheduler
it.
there.
I do have
I,
a lot of things in the pipeline that are cool and coming out, so I
yeah, I
will
mean
take you
it's
up on that.
it's fun talking to you, and great to kind of meet you virtually in person. And yeah, do you want to drop your socials? I know that you got some things to do
I
coming
mean,
up.
we could we're gonna have a link at the bottom. Click the link below. LinkedIn, especially if
OpenVC.
you're yeah, we could so yeah, you can read my many blogs on what not to do and how to make a pitch deck and how venture capital works at openvc.app.
Cool.
We have most importantly, I provide daily startup and venture capital insights that are comedic and entertaining but useful Monday through Friday on my LinkedIn.
Yes.
So feel free to connect with me. But if you are connecting, just include a note why and where you heard me from, just like
Yeah.
on this podcast. Don't send me your pitch deck, executive summary, business plan, marketing plan, go to market strategy, and a partridge in a pear tree. I'm not going to read it. Okay, not going to do it. But feel free to connect and don't do a humble brag Trojan horse connect. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm tired of. We're going to end on this. We're going to end on the
What's the
Trojan horse.
humble brag Trojan Horse Connect?
The humble brag Trojan horse connect is when someone sends you a nice heartfelt message that turns into a pitch where it's like, hey, Rick, I love the podcast. It's absolutely fantastic. I never miss an episode. And did you realize that you're not covering one of the biggest gaps in the market today? My company is building out a platform. Like it just goes into it, like unsolicited with a
Yeah.
Calendly link and how they would love to
Oh
talk
my
more.
God, that's
I'm
the
serious.
worst. Biggest red flag on the planet is when I immediately get your scheduler.
Yeah, that's it. So that's I think we're gonna have to talk about that today. So I think
Yeah.
that's gonna be today.
That's gonna be your rant for LinkedIn.
That's the rant today.
I agree, man. Well, the thing is for me is less like you don't respect your time enough. If you're just throwing your calendar into everybody's face, I don't think you're respecting the value of your time enough.
What if you're throwing your calendar into everyone's face, but you only have 15 minutes of time open for a meeting 3 months from now on a random Thursday? Best of both worlds. You can't meet with me because I'm so busy, but I want to meet with you. You just have to go on my schedule because I respect my time. Yeah, just don't do
Well,
it.
but yeah, can't you
No.
just like pick your, I think in the schedule you can say like, open from 3 months from now for
Yeah,
2 weeks.
exactly. I'm open 3 months from
You
now
can
because I respect my time.
completely
Only for
lie.
15 minutes. So if you're not available on November 3rd for 15 minutes after noon
Get out of
Eastern, you're out.
here.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, man. It's been great talking to you. Thanks so much for your time. And yeah, I'll see you in the feed. Well, that was Shaun from OpenVC. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen to that. I hope you really enjoyed all the do's and don'ts of making pitch decks, how to talk to investors when chasing venture capital. I really appreciate Shaun for taking the time to chat with me today. In the coming weeks, we have a few other guests from my communities to listen to their stories and hear what drives and motivates them. If you think you'd like to share your story, if you're a fractional leader, if you're a digital nomad, if you're a solopreneur, please feel free to follow this podcast because I'm making it for you. Get into my DMs. We would love to talk to you and hear about what motivates you, what drives you, what your passions are, what your mission is, and I hope to talk to you soon. Stay tuned.